All right, so check it out. Some of you know that I was building this quarantine pen, and the video that I took before had T-posts. Sorry, not these gray things. Those green things back there. Come on, zoom, you bastard. All right, I don't know what the hell this thing's doing. Those things, right there, them green things. So I put all those in the ground and tried putting this fence up and stretching it, and I pulled all my T-posts right in. So T-posts kind of suck for doing anything that requires any sort of tension. They're kind of soft and they bend real easy. Yeah, anyway, so this is my quarantine pen, and what that means is this is where all my chickens go that I've just gotten from somebody else. According to NPIP rules, NPIP is National Poultry Improvement Program. There needs to be a space, not necessarily this wide, but there needs to be a space between any chickens that are considered new or infected with something and the main flock. So that's why the space is here. Now, I just mostly finished building this thing, and it's taken some time to kind of get to this point, which is why I haven't done a video on it or anything. But let me show you what I've done here to get it to this point. For some of the people that are all like, you know, I really like his videos because they're educational, it doesn't focus on the creator. There you go, it's me. Well, we got my face in there at least once. So here we go. Now, this fence is 2x4 horse fence. It's woven wire, and what that means is it's 2 inches wide by 4 inches tall on the spacing. This is also 5 foot tall, and woven just means that it has these on it. Welded wire, which is very inferior to woven, is going to have electrically welded junctions as opposed to wrapped. It's a lot weaker, a lot more prone to failure, and just kind of crappy overall. This is also much more expensive. So a lot of people go for welded wire because it doesn't cost a whole lot, and it'll mostly do the job. Now, throughout my entire run, I have a fox problem. And foxes have a certain behavior, right? So they go right to the edge of the fence and dig. And they'll dig under your fence. Now, to keep foxes out, a good way of exclusion is putting down what's called an apron. And you take wire, like this, wire fence, and you put it at a 90-degree angle. Now, it doesn't have to be very far out, but just enough so the fox can't figure out that it needs to back up and dig under. They don't really, they'll dig dens and stuff like that, but they don't really like tunnel. So something like this is fine. About 2 foot ought to do it, and I got a rogue chicken there. Now, a lot of times things that prevents people from doing this, at least it's prevented me from doing it, is because it's a pain in the ass to affix this to the fence. You have to use like zip ties or wire or something to fasten it to the fence. Now, I've been waving these around. These have actually been really helpful, but they kind of suck at the same time. So this is what's called a hog ring plier or a stapler, made by DeWalt. They have these things in them that are staples, and you can see there that they look like staples. Now, when you squeeze it, it takes that last one there, and it rolls it like that. So you take these pliers, you take the open end like that, and you put it on the fence and squeeze. You can see there, it puts a hog ring on it. Now, the thing that makes these suck is the orientation of them. So this orientation makes it difficult to get into some areas on the fence. You know, you end up with a lot of miscrimps and wasted staples. Have on order a vertical or a shove in like this stapler with much thicker staples, because these guys are only like, I think, 16 gauge. They're kind of shit, to be honest. They're not very strong. I can step on this and pull them right out without a lot of force. But you know, I've put staples, you know, every one on the ends and every 2 to 3 going down, so it ought to hold up until I get my vertical stapler. So you know, these make apron stapling very fast. You don't have to wire or do any sort of dumb stuff to, you know, affix your apron to your fence. So I hate to bring religion into it, but these are a godsend. They are absolutely a time saver. Very, very useful. And you can use these for things like repairing bird netting, or making crab traps, or, you know, whatever you need to, you know, staple something like this to another thing like that. Right? Really helpful. So enough about these dumb pliers here. And look at that. I got a blister. Got sensitive hands from using those staplers all the way around this fence here. There's only 100 foot of apron, but whatever. I also, in order to keep the wire down, because we don't want it coming up, otherwise that fox may see that opening and go under it and then dig. So we got these things here. They're landscape fabric staples, fabric and garden staples, just Home Depot special. Basically what you do with these is just find a spot. You know, I got mulch down, so it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but find a spot, stick it in to a spot that doesn't have a whole bunch of mulch, and then you push it down, and it'll hold it down. The last step I'm going to do is actually put mulch on top of this, and that'll keep that apron down. Hopefully, and, you know, make it a little easier for me to keep my chickens safe, and a little harder to keep the fox from digging. Now, you may be thinking this is an impressive run, and it is. I like it. It does exactly what I needed to do, which is keep all these dirty chickens safe. The problem I have now is, like that black one there, all the black ones that I got, they don't have clipped wings, but everyone else does. So I need to get in there and clip them wings, because they fly right up and over, despite this being a 5-foot fence. So, point in case. I got a piece of regular gate here so that I can enter it. And this thing here, call this the outhouse, because it looks like a shitter. But it's actually their hen house. You can see lots of poop on the floor, a couple eggs, and some chickens sitting on roosting bars. Now this is really just kind of hacked together. It's effectively garbage, to be honest. These are moving containers that they use to, you know, move stuff across the country. Just really, really shitty plywood stapled together. Literally the cheapest you can build this is what they built it as. But the chickens don't seem to mind too much. They have a place to roost and stay out of the wind, and they have a little hole over there to enter. And you know, they do their thing. They just go in here and roost and be happy or something, whatever a chicken is normally. Got a little alignment block here, and we just jam that in, and we put this strap on to keep it closed so the wind doesn't blow it open, and it keeps them safe. I haven't set up any automation over here, being that it's going into winter. I have problems right now with my 1/4-inch line freezing, which, you know, I expect. It's completely normal. It's, you know, when it's hitting below 30 degrees, everything that's not, you know, 36 inches below ground is going to freeze. So they get a stupid barrel water that I have to move water into. Anyway, but they have water. Now, excuse me, you may be questioning this tree right in the center of my my run here. It's actually not live. It's just a post that I put in, and it goes, you know, pretty high. At least, what, I'm 6 foot, so maybe 10 foot, 11 foot, something like that. The purpose of this is actually to put it's a support in the center to put some bird netting over top of this thing to keep these assholes in, so I don't have to clip wings and all that stuff. But I mean, they mostly stay in, kind of. I'm just going to clip their wings. Eventually, I'll get to the bird netting over top. Just not really a priority just yet, because to be honest, these aren't very valuable chickens. Now, you may be like, whoa, yes, they are. I love the look of them. They're very cute. And that's true. They are specific breeds, but when I say they're not valuable, what I mean is they're not valuable to me in the regards of breeding and stuff like that. A good example is this guy right here. Oh my God. This guy right here with the funny hair, that's a Polish. Polish, as cute as they are incredibly stupid. Well, I guess that's a hen. That answers that question. They're incredibly stupid. If it rains, they stand outside and stare up at the rain. If it gets cold, they stand outside and just, hunch down and sleep. They don't go into the hen house. Because they have that big fluff on their head, they can't see very well, so when they run, they crash into everything. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if they, crashed into something and killed themselves. The other ones, we got some sort of breed here, some other breed there. I know those are barred rocks. I think a couple of these are olive eggers. Not 100% sure, to be honest. The guy that I partner up with could definitely tell you, but I don't pretend to be a chicken expert, and I don't want to be. They're not my thing. I just know how to keep them safe and hopefully keep them laying. The thing is, with some of these breeds though, let's open this thing back up here. Some of these breeds, my problem is they're not production breeds, and that's fine for everyone else but me. If you want to keep a chicken as a pet, great. If you're okay with, if you're okay with the eggs that they produce, wonderful. This freaking door. But let me grab a couple of these. But here's the issue. So specialty breeds lay tiny eggs. I know it's hard to tell with my big ass meat hooks and the way the camera is, but these are undersized eggs, and this is as big as the egg is that they'll lay. These are, let's see, you get the extra large or whatever in the store. These are probably 3/4 of that size. So when you start getting into like the special breeds or the hybrids or the weird stuff, oftentimes they don't lay an egg that's very large. They lay kind of small eggs. So what that means is these eggs are what I would call pullet-sized eggs. They're undersized. They're not really good for sale, and they're not really good for doing anything like making a good breakfast. They're not very big. So I mean, for people that are keeping 10 chickens in their backyard as pets or whatever that happens to make breakfast, fine, whatever. Undersized eggs, yeah, okay. But for the people that come and buy my eggs, this is not acceptable. To some people it is that want my eggs, but for the majority, these aren't acceptable. So all of these chickens, I think there's a couple olive eggers in here, except those, will be bound for meat production. I know it sucks. I've never been one to lie to anybody on this channel about the purpose of my birds, and I'm not going to start. That chicken right there, that rooster that I'm pointing at, he probably weighs 6 or 7 pounds when fully dressed. When what dressed means is that you've stripped off the feathers and the organs, all that stuff. So he would be a good meat bird. So would that Rhode Island Red and these black Australorps as well. But like this hen right here, she's probably going to be 2 to 3 pounds dressed. So she's not really acceptable as meat either. It's just that, you know, the thing is with like small breeds like this, they lay small eggs. They're a small bird. They're not really that great for a whole lot, besides a backyard flock. And you know, and this is all subjective, right? This is all, you know, your area, your culture, your country, all that stuff. But here in the USA, small eggs like this and small birds aren't acceptable for production of meat or eggs. So the general population of Americans want a bigger egg and are going to want a bigger meat bird. Now, that said, I do have people from like Ethiopia and Africa and stuff like that. They don't care. They want eggs, they want chickens. The better looking the chicken is, the redder it is, the closer it is to jungle fowl, and that's what they want, which is perfectly fine. I'll happily sell them all this stuff, but like I said, the majority of people just don't want this. So now all these chickens are in here for a good reason, and I mean, it doesn't matter now because my entire flock has chicken lice, but chicken lice will cause a drop in egg production. This is actually the eggs you saw in there, and what's in my hand is actually a week and a half worth of production for all these birds. Now, there's a lot of roosters in here, but you know, it's about 50-50 hens and roosters. So chicken lice cause anemia, which causes egg and drop production, or yeah, a drop in egg production, and ultimately the chicken lice can kill the birds as well, because, you know, anemia. So you can treat them real easy. The problem is you have to stay on a schedule. So you treat them with 7 Dust, and 7 Dust has a pesticide in it called carbaryl, which kills the lice almost instantaneously. You can actually put it on them and watch the lice kind of drop off. So it works really fast. The problem is it doesn't penetrate the egg casing on the nits, you know, the nits egg or whatever. So in 7 days you have to follow up and treat them again, which is fine. You just need to remember to do it, unlike me. So you know, I treated them and they still have lice because I didn't follow up. But you know, I'll get there. It's one thing at a time, baby steps, all that good stuff. But yeah, so this is my quarantine run, and you know, like I said, I don't really care to have these eggs, so the chickens get them back. And what I just did there, some people really have a problem with, because they say that it encourages egg eating, and that's true. So that egg right there didn't break, and you just saw that chicken walk over and plunge her beak right into it. Now what that'll do is that'll teach them that it's okay to eat their eggs. And if you're trying to produce eggs, that's a bad thing, because what happens is that chicken that learns to do that will start teaching every other chicken, and then you end up with no eggs. You might have a flock of, you know, 60 or whatever, and suddenly you'll go from 60 eggs a day to 0 because they all eat them. So the only way to solve that is well, a really unfortunate way, and that's to call all your birds, because you really can't teach or reteach your birds not to eat their eggs without some serious dedication and time commitment. And it just, a lot of times when you have a high bird count, it's not worth the time. It's easier in terms of time, effort, and energy spent to just call and start again, because I mean, 18 weeks is how long it takes for a chicken to start laying. So the time frame is very short considering. So yeah, it sucks, but it is what it is, unfortunately. So yeah, anyway, yep. So I hope you enjoyed, you know, looking at my run. It's, you know, like 20 by 20 or something like that, 25 by 25. I don't remember. I just put it together and hope for the best. But I think it does an all right job so far. And with the apron, it'll keep these damn fox out. And I'm going to be doing the same down my main run with the same kind of fence, and go from there. And hopefully I can keep all these goddamn fox out of my run here, and keep my chickens and birds safe. Because, you know, for me, a lot of people say, well, just shoot the fox, and that's great, you know, but here's the problem with that, right? Fox reproduce very fast. So even for one fox that you kill, 3 more will come back. you know, you can kill all year round and you end up with still a fox problem. Because what happens is you kill that one fox and the whole area now has no fox to mark. So that scent wears off. You may be good for a month or two, but the scent wears off through rain, and then more fox move in and fight over that territory. Then they go, oh, there's a food source, so they get into your run. So for me, I believe in prevention instead of elimination, because it's just not effective on elimination. You can eliminate all the time, but you know, it doesn't work in the long run. So prevention is key, and besides that, fox do serve a purpose. In my case, they help keep what's called the white-footed mouse in check. And the white-footed mouse is the primary vector for Lyme disease and tick spread. So the less white-footed mouse that I have, the better. You know, it's just one of them things. You have to pick your battles and choose wisely. Otherwise, you're just, you know, screwing yourself, to put it plainly. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. 21 minutes, and I think that's probably long enough. So thank you, have a good day, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See ya.